Hey guys, what's up? How y'all doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about the new episode of One Piece, which is on episode 1134. This episode right here was pretty nice to see, and of course, the pacing is always like a problem for a lot of people. So, if anything else, let's just get this started right away. We get to see Kuma with Vegapunk along with Barcelino or Kizaru. We also see Saturn makes a couple more conditions of helping Bonnie and of course having Kuma be that paying benefactor, of course. He has a couple conditions where Kuma will join the seven warlords of the sea because Ace just recently took down a seven warlord and we have been looking for a replacement. You'll fit perfectly. Two, you'll become a navy weapon to a navy weapon, one that will benefit us tremendously. And three, you are to lose all free mind and will in during your modifications turning into a weapon, which Vegapunk does not like at all, and he disagrees tremendously. Which apparently shows that Vegapunk, despite him being a scientist and having certain questionable methods, he has morality, or he has a human side where he does not like the idea at all. So, except Kuma accepts voluntarily and thought the conditions might be impossible for him to do, and that he has no problem doing these things if it meant to help Bonney. But Saturn, to make sure that Kuma doesn't do anything reckless or stupid, he mentions that he will have Bonnie as hostage after their surgeries, which will take about like 6 months, and modifications for Kuma would take about like 2 years, and that's just how it is. As the episode continues on, of course, Bonnie goes through the treatment, which will take about 6 months, and eventually goes back to the island. As for Kuma, he also goes through weapon modifications, and we all know what happened with that. Well, we see what happened with that. By that time, once the 6 months are up, Kuma takes Bonnie back to the place where he raised her at, and we get to see that the citizens are very happy to see her there. However, we also get to know that the government is keeping tabs or keeping an eye on Bonnie. Anything involving Kuma wanting to visit her, which also is one of the conditions, is like after she's cured and you take her to a certain facility or whatever she wants to be raised at, whatever you say, we are going to keep an eye on her until your weapon modifications are complete. You're not allowed to see her, and if you do, she'll be turned to a slave, which apparently like Saturn has been this crazy guy to make sure nothing goes wrong, saying like, "Hey man, you better listen to me carefully or this is going to happen." So by that time, as the episode continues on, when Kuma drops her off, and there's a Cypherpole agent who dresses up as a nurse, warns Kuma not to see her, his the, not to see Bonnie. So pretty much like, don't mess this up or she's dead. And by that time, Kuma has no choice and he becomes a seventh warlord, and eventually as time continues on, everyone knows about Kuma's involvement to becoming a seventh warlord, which apparently none of them really care much about, or maybe there might be some but not so much, I guess, if that's the way how to say it, especially when the revolutionaries are like, no way, this guy's a seventh warlord, are you kidding me? And the episode ends off with Bartholomew Kuma getting ready to go into action with his mission or what the government's giving him. Preview of next episode looks like to me it's gonna be called "To the Sea Where My Father Is." The future Bonnie chooses. So looks like to me Bonnie's gonna make a choice of her own, and she's gonna get ready to possibly try to see her father. Well, that's what the title says. So yeah. So overall, pretty much Bonnie can be cured, but Akuma has to listen to a couple conditions if we're going to cure her, since you don't got the money. And of course, Saturn makes those conditions and made sure that like after Bonnie is cured and whatever she's being kept on by the world government members, you are to, what's the word? Not to visit her, otherwise she'll be turned to a slave. So, yeah, talk about some sucky, a bad fate or a bad situation that left Kuma in a corner. But Kuma accepts no problem, saying like he'll do anything for his daughter, which apparently is really nice and emotional, because that's what any parent should do: help and protect the life of their child, no matter what. So that's about it. I'll see you guys later. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time. All right. Peace out. Bye bye. Toot toot.